Hey guys, so I gave you the opportunity to ask me some questions with a Q&A underneath a picture of mine on Instagram. I got a lot of questions, so let me start with the beginning. So that is, where do I come from? Well, I am from Holland. I'm originally from Alkmaar. That's a small city just above Amsterdam. Um, I grew up there, but I traveled around through Holland a lot. So I moved to Rotterdam, I lived in Amsterdam, I lived in Haarlem. Um, I am from here. So why do I speak English? Well, if I speak Dutch, nobody can understand me. So I can post in Dutch or talk to you guys right now in Dutch. Maar niemand begrijpt me dan. Dan begrijpt alleen Nederland mij en België. Uh, so what I just said is, if I speak Dutch, only Holland and Belgium would understand me. So I prefer to speak English. I mean, everything in Holland is already in English, so the television, everything. So we learn to speak great English here. Why do I post in English? The exact same reason. So one of the questions is, do I use steroids? I don't. I think you can clearly see when somebody's using, especially when a woman is using. I won't give my opinion about it because I don't think that's necessary, but just to be clear, I do not take steroids. I've always been pretty muscular from the kickboxing on my shoulders and my arms and my back. Due to kickboxing, I really underdeveloped my legs, so that's something that I had to work on very hard. I do take creatine, I do take all the supplements and vitamins that you can think of, but that's about it. So, who is my motivation? In the beginning, my motivation was Andrea Verzeer. I always wanted to look like her, but then at one point you start to find out how your body works, that you might have completely different genetics, you might not have the same symmetry in abs or that kind of thing. So I started out with her as my motivation, but along the way I found out that I have my own kind of body type, so I started to just work with that. And my motivation is more you guys, because I know I'm gonna have to show up at events or something, and I want to look like what I represent on my pictures, so I don't want to disappoint you guys. So that's what motivates me to hit the gym every single day. Of course I have off days, of course I have days that I cannot motivate myself, but I take those days because that is human, and I don't want to push myself to that point that I'm in the gym and I'm not really trying hard because I don't feel like it. Then I rather not train. A lot of the questions were about belly fat or hips. Well, the thing is that that kind of fat you will only lose with diet. You can do a million crunches, but you won't lose the fat as long as your diet isn't proper. So you have to get your diet very strict for yourself, because that's the last place you will lose fat. So I can help you with that. I will put the link underneath this vlog where you can email me with all those kind of questions, and I can help you out. What do I prefer, bulking or leaning out? Well, to be honest, I do not really like to bulk because I'm not a very big eater, so I have to force myself to eat a lot. I also don't like the fact from bulking that you're gonna gain fat, and I mean, I don't think that's anybody's ambition. So I don't really bulk. What I just do is maintenance. So at one point that I know that I'm not gonna have an appearance in like months, then I will just do everything on maintenance. So I will gain a bit fat, but it's still easy for me to lean down in about 2 months. So I always keep my fat percentage. The highest that I will get is 15 or 16%, but higher than that I won't be. When did I started with working out? I always used to kickbox. When I was young, I first started out with dancing. Then from the dancing, I went into kickboxing. Then I had an accident where I couldn't get punches in my face anymore. So I stopped kickboxing, and then I found out that I was really missing the energized feeling that you get from sporting, and the good feeling that you get after a really good session of training. So then I had to figure something out that I could do next to my job, and that was fitnessing, because you can do it in whatever time you have. So that's how I started out. What are my top 3 favorite countries? My top 3 favorite countries is definitely Brazil, America, and Spain. Not necessarily in any order. It's just what I really like about America is that the differences within one country, from weather, culture, that kind of things. And I mean, if you ever want to act or dance on a high level, I mean, the LA is the place where you have to be. Um, and that is one of my dreams. That is always starring in a movie with dancing. That would have been my ultimate dream. Um, then Brazil, I lived there for 8 months and I absolutely love the culture, the people, everything about it actually. It's just a completely different world from Europe. Then also Spain, because I really like the in-betweener from modern and still having that culture in Spain, the relaxation and that's I like the buildings there, everything about it, the feeling. I love Valencia. That's one of my favorite cities. Often do I have a cheat day? I have a cheat day once a week. I might not have a cheat day if I'm like a week out of a photo shoot or an appearance somewhere. But it is very important that you have a cheat day, because as soon as you don't shock your body, it will get used to the. For example, if you're leaning out and you're eating a completely strict diet with not as much carbs as you should be eating, at one point your body gets used to that and it won't lose fat anymore. So if you're going to stay on that, you have to go deeper and deeper and lower in your calories to still lose something. So you have to shock your body to wake your metabolism up. So once a week I will have a cheat day, and I won't leave it with one cheat meal. I probably eat the whole day. I eat junk, and at the end of the day I'm so sick of it that I look forward to the week of clean eating again. So what is my body goal? I do not have to get bigger than this. I'm perfectly fine with how my body is right now. I would like some things to be more toned and that kind of things, but I absolutely don't want to grow bigger than this. I want to stay very feminine. For example, that when you wear clothing that you don't even that you're not really sure if you're actually a fitness model. Why do I want that? Because my dream has always been acting, acting in a dancing movie or acting in a show. So I want to still stay commercial. It's very easy to get drawn into the world of that everything needs to be bigger, and at one point you reach your goal and then you still think that you're not big enough. That problem rises a lot within the fitness model world. I stopped myself from doing that. I'm perfectly fine with how I am right now. So what I said is that I would like to tone down some things, or get a bit more toned on different spots. I would prefer my upper legs to be a little bit bigger or more toned, but that's about it. So how old is Yuki and what kind of dog is he? Well, he actually has his own Instagram page where you can check him out. That's Yuki Wolf Bear, he's called there. He's 1 year old and he's a Samoyed. And what the funny thing about this breed is that you actually, if you look them up, you see that they're bred to keep the people warm in the bed, because he's from Siberia, and they're really bred to do that, so that they're extremely cuddly. He won't leave my sight. If I have to go pee, he's gonna sit outside the door and he's gonna make really sad sounds until I let him in. I get a lot of questions about the abs too. Is that what is the best exercise to do the abs, or what is your ab routine? I don't really have an ab routine. As long as you add weight to your exercises that you do for your abs, it will thicken your abs. So then you don't have to be super dry to still have those abs popping out a little bit. So I definitely would recommend cable crunches with weight, and just go and see how deep you can go, how heavy you can go, and build that up, and then you will see a difference in your abs. So everything weighted for your abs will really make a difference. And it's also a question, were you naturally skinny? Yes, I was. Growing up, I was always extremely skinny until I started kickboxing, and until I hit a certain age that I started to keep or that I couldn't eat anything anymore. And all of a sudden I started to gain weight, and then I noticed that I really had to change something about my diet. Before the age of 19 I could eat whatever and I wouldn't gain weight. So after that I started to really gain weight very fast, and the kickboxing really made the biggest difference in my body type. First I was super skinny, but as soon as I started kickboxing and I did some weightlifting next to it to get stronger, I really noticed the development in my arms and my shoulders. So I don't know if you guys have any more questions. Just hit me up under the vlog. I want to also ask you is that I'm having some plans to do on YouTube with dancing, and I want to hear your ideas. So what would you like to see for the next vlog? Is that training like normal in the gym? Is that dancing? Whatever you have, and just leave it as a comment underneath. I really would like to hear you guys' ideas. Okay. Do you see those flags?